revealing biblical truths. In today's video, I will be going over the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments are the foundation of Yah's laws and instructions of life. They are summarized by two principles: love Yah and love others, as was stated by Yahushua. The 10 Commandments are expounded upon later as Yah gave instructions to Moshe. These statutes, judgments, and laws provide more clarity for how the 10 Commandments were to be applied, as well as specific laws regarding the Levite priesthood and other special situations. The 10 Commandments are still binding today, as both the apostles reiterate in the letters of the Brit Hadashah, as well as by Yahushua HaMashiach when giving the Sermon on the Mount of Olives. He said that nothing, not one yod or one tittle, would pass from the Torah until heaven and earth pass away. It is very clear. This includes keeping the Sabbath day, which I have shown in previous videos, and which Paul over 85 times is recorded as keeping. So, if we are to keep them today, what are they, and what are some applications and examples of them? The 10 Commandments first appear in Exodus 20. Number 1. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. There are many examples in the Tanakh of Yah's people where they were serving other gods and worshiping them. This includes worshiping of other people, as well as the sun, moon, and stars. Today, people still worship the sun with the cult of heliocentrism instead of biblical cosmology. They worship the moon with Islam, as well as Wicca and other Eastern religions. They worship the stars with astrology and divination. Have you ever heard of the song, "When You Wish Upon a Star"? That's star worship. If you're asking for a star to grant you a wish, that's an angelic being, whether fallen or righteous. Walt Disney, who made that song, was an occultist and a Freemason. Number 2. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down to serve them. We are to not make any image from any creature or idol. Yet the Catholic Church has many graven images and statues, from dead saints to Mary to Yah Himself, which is really not Yahushua in many portraits, but Cesare Borgia, the gay son of the Pope. In the heaven above would include the sun, moon, and stars, the earth being the people, animals, or other idols, and in the water, sea creatures. Number 3. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy Elohim in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. What does it mean to take his name in vain, though? It is a prohibition against blasphemy, specifically the misuse or taking in vain his name, or using his name to commit evil, or to pretend to serve in his name while in fact failing to do so. Number 4. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. I find it very ironic and sad at the same time that most self-professed Christians will forget the one command that Yah told us to remember. And as in previous videos, I explained how Yahushua kept the Sabbath, as did his disciples and apostles, for decades following his death. In fact, the Sabbath day continued to be kept well into the 3rd century AD, when Constantine changed it to Sunday, with no scriptural authority, but because he worshipped on Sunday, he worshipped the sun, a violation of the first commandment. He killed and persecuted those keeping it until they were silenced, left, or accommodated to the practice. The Sabbath is a sign of the covenant between us and Yah, that we are his people, and he is our Elohim. Number 5. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Yahweh your Elohim giveth thee. This commandment to honor one's human parents is compared to honoring God, for man owes his existence to his father and mother. Number 6. Thou shalt not murder. The heart of the matter in this commandment is us having hate in our heart. Yahushua declared that if you hate someone in your heart without a cause, you're already guilty of murder. This commandment relates to the intentional killing of someone. It also does not apply to self-defense, accidents, warfare, or the execution of capital punishment. It does, however, apply to abortion, euthanasia, and suicide. All lives matter, whether they are elderly, in the womb, or mentally disabled. We should not seek to end anyone's life, including our own. But getting back to what Yahushua said, we should not even say or think evil thoughts of someone, for this is the spirit of murder. Number 7, thou shalt not commit adultery. This command should be a simple one to understand. Adultery is when a husband or wife has intercourse with a person other than their spouse. According to the scripture, it is the only legal way for a divorce to be allowed, and the marriage covenant was intended to be until death. That said, 1 Corinthians 7 gives additional circumstances by which a marriage is dissolved, that being abandonment by an unbelieving spouse, since the definition of marriage is cleaving or clinging to each other. Adultery has ruined many marriages. This command also has spiritual parallels, as Yah divorced Israel for committing adultery by worshiping other mighty ones instead of him. Number 8, thou shalt not steal. This seemingly simple command can carry multiple connotations. Of course, it can mean don't steal anyone's property or money, but it can also mean do not kidnap or be involved in human trafficking. It also implies being forthright regarding trade and negotiations, not defrauding your neighbor. Later in the Torah, Yah makes a statute regarding usury. We are not to charge interest on money we lend to someone, as this is also considered stealing. But let's take an example from today's time. When one person takes your money, that is stealing. When 5 people take your money, that is also stealing. And when a town, a state, or a country of people get together and decide to take your money, that's a stealing. Taxation is theft, make no mistake. But, as Yahusha said, even though we have no control over certain laws of the land, we render to Caesar that which is Caesar's, and to Yah the things of Yah. Number 9, thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor. There are several ways this can be applied. Obviously, this implies lying, but it can also refer to slander, libel, false testimony, and even representing your neighbor in a bad light through gossip. This commandment, unfortunately, is one of the most abused, yet we don't see it oftentimes. Number 10, thou shalt not covet. Included in this commandment are your neighbor's wife, property, animals, servants, and anything else that's your neighbor's. We are not to be envious of our neighbor, but to be thankful for what we ourselves have and be joyous in our neighbor's fortunes. Remember that we should lay up treasures in heaven and not be concerned with the things of this world and gaining material possession while we live here, because we cannot take any of that with us in the next life. Wherever we are in life, we should be content therewith and pray to the Father for our needs, who supplies us exceedingly abundantly above all we ask or think. If you enjoyed this teaching, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching. Till next time, Shalom.